Hey everybody, it's Ryan, the landlord here. Hope everyone is doing well. It is July. The temperatures are going up. Craziness in the world, I think we can all agree on that. Some very uncertain times, and we're just all trying to figure it out day by day. So with that being said, I wanted to give an update because some of you have suggested that these videos have made a difference, and I'd like to continue these as best I can. A few updates with some of the rentals. Number one, there have been a lot of people asking about the new program being put out by the governor of Indiana, Eric Holcomb, as far as rental assistance. This is a program that would give you $500 a month, up to 4 months total, and pay the landlord directly. However, it requires a ton of paperwork by both parties. There has been no determination of when those funds will be distributed by the government, as we all have seen how quickly they do that. And from a landlord perspective, and all of our owners are in agreement, there is a requirement to not file eviction if you take this program from a landlord for 45 days after the last payment was made. So usually there's 10 days to get into court and another week after that to have someone removed. So we're looking at an additional 2 months after we've already been out 4 months as it is. Plus it's only $500 a month. So before anybody wastes their time in applying for that, I've been asked to share with all of you that all the owners we represent are not going to be partaking in this program. You have to understand to take that hit on top of the hits we've already taken when we're just trying to make ends meet has been very, very difficult at best. Paying support staff, trying to keep maintenance up, that sort of thing. A couple of other things to note. Parking. Your car, if you live, for example, at Sundance Manor, your car is never supposed to be behind that building at all. Ever. At all. If you don't pay for parking. I've had to tow quite a few cars recently. This goes for guests too. Plenty of parking out on the street, let them park there. Okay, please follow the rules. Again, I have to restate this. Flushing of wipes, even if it says flushable, not allowed. They're not flushable. They never break down and they clog the system. Do not flush wipes, diapers, feminine hygiene products. That'd be tampons or maxi pads. They don't go down there, okay? Think about tampons and maxi pads. They're meant to soak in water and moisture. It's not what we want, all right? We want it to go through the system and drain appropriately. So please maintain that. Couple things, just want to talk about leases. The rent is due on the 1st of the month. That is when it is due. Clearly said it in your lease. It is due then. That's number one. Number two, if we don't receive it by the 5th, we give a 10% late fee. Some people have seen in their lease there's something about $35. That is an additional fee if you bounce the money to us. We've had people write a money order, then try to stop payment. There's an additional fee on top of the late fee, on top of the rent, of $35 for that service charge we get hit with for non-sufficient funds. We get hit with a service charge every time you attempt to pay and there's insufficient funds in your account. We are going to transfer that back to you. All right. Make sure there are funds in your account, please. All right. Understanding the eviction courts are opening back up. Right now I can evict for health, safety, and welfare. And the eviction courts are opening up really soon. We have, sadly, several cases pending. If you don't want that eviction on your record for non-payment, you can vacate and we won't hold it against you. Just let us know you're doing it. We'll sign a termination of lease. We'll arrange to get the keys or have you leave them on the property and lock the door behind you. But communicate with us. Failure to communicate comes to an eviction. If I don't know you're gone, I have to evict you and I have to get an eviction on your record. I don't want to do that. If you're unable to make ends meet, there were a litany of organizations offering help prior to this state thing. I asked you guys to communicate with us. I asked you guys to let us know and show us proof you filed for any claims. Some of you did not. And for that reason, some of you will be going to eviction court. Let me make it clear on a lease. A lease is a contract, and once that contract is broken, it's broken. It doesn't mean that it has to be reopened again. That is the legal right of all parties. If you miss a rent payment, a landlord does not. There's zero requirement for the landlord to attempt to work things out with you. Zero. You can call anybody you want to check on that. There's zero requirement. We all entered in the same agreement. Right? So please know that. If you're having troubles making ends meet, you can always move out. We can work with you on that endeavor. If you call us, email us. Speaking of calling, those of you living in Sundance Manor, we are having some sort of issue with the phone line. We have been working with them. It is very frustrating. The voicemail does work. For whatever reason, the beep isn't happening. So as soon as you hear the message end, just pause for half a second and then start talking. We actually get the message. We've been getting a lot of messages where we hear, hey, I didn't hear the beep. What's going on? All right. It's just strange. I'm working with them. I'm trying to get it resolved. I don't know what their problem is in having a beep, but for whatever reason, it's not beeping. There's no tone, right? So please understand, it is recording. We can hear you. Wanted to let you guys know that. I've had some choice words. Another thing about leases is this has not changed. If you're in the apartment buildings, any kind of multi-unit, zero pets, animals, creatures, beings that aren't human are allowed for any reason. Period. We cannot ensure the safety of other tenants. We cannot ensure that they don't have allergies. So for that reason, we do not allow them at all. Right? Because in accordance with the law, everyone has the right to peaceable enjoyment of their property. And I can't keep things in there that would maybe harm them or provide an allergy issue for them. Okay, so I can't do that. You've got to remove the pets. You've got to remove the creatures. They've got to go. I hate to be the bearer of these news, but I'm trying to communicate it the best way I can. Just simply doing the best job that I can in a crazy time. And I think we're all there. The easiest way to solve things is to communicate. Right now, we do not have any vacancies across the board. There will be as soon as the courts open and those people know it's coming. As soon as that happens, we have some availability in potential units if you want to tell some friends. But in the meantime, got nothing. Which is a great thing, but it also is a bad thing because people living in buildings where we pay the bills, they're not paying theirs. And then we still have to try to pay staff. But again, if you haven't made your payment, you have violated the contract that we have, which is a lease contract. And therefore, now neither party has to help uphold theirs. Anyway, I hope this finds you all well. I hope you have an understanding that if you're behind, communicate with us immediately. Let us know a plan. Unfortunately, that plan cannot be the governor's new plan because that 45-day mandate is just a killer. You can't ask us to continue down this path where people aren't paying for 2 months and us to still be able to pay our bills. It just doesn't happen that way. People think that there's all this money coming in. Well, there's a lot of money going out too. There's bills, staffing, expenses, maintenance, repairs, utilities, tons of that stuff. And it's hard to keep head above water right now. And the last thing I think any of you want to know is to see landlords losing their properties and have less rentals available. You may not always like me, but you know that I do my job. So I hope, again, this finds you well. Communicate with us the best you can. Do not make us have to communicate with you. I hope you guys stay safe. It's going to be another hot week coming up. So be smart, be safe, be kind, wash those hands, take care.